Hi subscribers, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who know me, my name is Dominic James Murray, CEO and founder here at Cameron James. Okay, so today I'm going to be giving you my list, my secret list of the top 12 things to always ask your financial advisor or any financial advisor when you're considering working with them, and particularly when you're considering transferring a sizable defined benefit pension scheme. So I'll be using my laptop today to make sure I get all 12 points down. So number one, to start off with, always ensure that your financial advice is FCA regulated. Now, you might be working in a jurisdiction such as France, or you might be in the Middle East, or you might be in America, wherever you are. Technically speaking, for you to receive advice in the United Kingdom, your advisor in France does not need to be FCA regulated. They may well have a third-party report writer who writes the FCA report for you. However, in my professional opinion, the FCA is the strictest regulator in the world, possibly closely followed by the SEC in America. So no matter where you live in the world, it's a UK pension asset, you're typically a British national, it's all to do with your UK pension. So why would you work with someone who is not on the FCA register in the United Kingdom? For me, it's a red flag of some sort. It either means the financial advisor cannot obtain an FCA license or become an appointed representative in the UK, he has something to hide, he's not qualified enough to get on the FCA register, or he just can't be bothered. Any four of those things, in my opinion, is not necessarily a financial advisor that you want to work with. An FCA license is expensive. No matter which way you go about it, whether you're directly authorized or as an appointed representative, you are going to pay significant costs for that license. So a lot of people might say, oh, well, why bother? I'm here in France or I'm here in wherever. I don't need to be on the FCA register. I'll just tell my clients it doesn't matter. In my opinion, if you're working with someone and you're considering working with them long term, 5, 10, 15, 20 years on your SIP or your pension, your curates, whatever it is, you want to know that person is in the industry for the long term and they're committing to be as highly regulated as they can possibly be. So FCA regulated, in my opinion, for your financial advisor and your financial advisory firm is always a must. The second point on my list when we're talking about final side pension transfers is, are they actually a pension transfer specialist or not? Do they hold a relevant pension transfer specialist examination? Here at Cameron James, we put all of our advisors through this process to achieve pension transfer status, even if they're not advising on pension transfer specifically. So for example, in the industry, a lot of advisory firms will use a third-party report writer. We've done topics on this before, such as PAS, Onvestor at the time of recording, two firms, Purely Pensions are one that we work with as well. What this effectively means is we package up all the information, we send it off to the report writer who just specializes in that one task of putting together all the calculations and producing the report. This can also have the beneficial advantage of knowing, even as CEO here at Cameron James, I'm not writing the pension transfer report specifically myself. I'm providing all of the information, as much rationale as I can, as to why someone should or shouldn't be transferring their pension, but I can't make the ultimate decision. This helps protect you as an investor because I'm not going to be the one who says, oh yeah, sure, transfer your pension, and I'm also the one who's going to benefit from some type of fees on an ongoing basis of having you as a client. However, I think if someone is outsourcing that work to a third party, they should at least themselves be a pension transfer specialist so they understand the report, they understand what's going into it. So really important, always ask your financial advisor, if you're looking at defined benefit pension transfer, can I please see your pension transfer qualification to show that, again, at least they've taken the time and effort and energy to study that examination, they know what's in the report and they can explain it to you thoroughly, rather than a financial advisor who's just like, oh, I can't be bothered to sit that exam, why spend £1,000 on that exam, I will just outsource it to the third party, oh, the report's 70 pages long, I don't understand half of it, but never mind, my client probably won't understand either. Not that all financial advisors do that, but I would just say if you're a professional and you specialize in defined benefit pension transfer advice, you should at least be a PTS yourself. In the back end of November last year, I think there was only around 15 candidates sat the CISI pension transfer examination. So there's not that many people who go through the time and effort of doing that, and I just think it's best practice. So my opinion, always have your pension transfer qualification. The third point on my list is underlying funds. who is going to be the underlying fund range when you sign up with your financial advisor. If they are using in-house or model portfolios which have been created or white labeled for them from someone else, for me, this is a big red flag. It's what I refer to in the industry as double bubble. It's taking one fee for doing one thing and getting another fee for doing something else at the same time. Your financial advisor should be giving you the financial advice. What solution is best for you? SIP, QROP, what type of transfer, what type of solution, etc. The actual underlying investments. If you're working with a company such as Cameron James, has been going for 5 or 6 years now, do you honestly think that Cameron James is better at managing money than iShares, BlackRock, Bailey Gifford? These companies have been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years with a proven track record. No, I don't think Cameron James is better than them. We will always use high quality providers of a long-term track record. What a lot of advisory firms do though is a third-party company will come in, XYZ Limited, and say, oh, why don't you use our model portfolio and you can rebrand it as the Cameron James model portfolio that we sit and do all this special work together to put together for you. No, they don't. They're just white labeling it from someone else. But XYZ Limited company will say, right, the cost is 1% per annum. If you white label it as Cameron James, we'll give you half the fees and we keep the other half of the fees. Nice deal. So then the advisor typically gets their 1% ongoing for managing the money, then they also get 0.5% from the underlying model portfolio they recommended to you. So always be very, very careful with this. It doesn't mean that every single firm who white labels a packaged product from someone else is bad, but just be very careful because you might not realize your financial advisor has actually possibly been paying twice in having you as a client. The fourth point on my list is very closely connected to this, and this is to do with clean share classes. So when you're buying funds in the industry, you need to make sure that your financial advisor is working with zero funds, they're called in the USA, or clean share classes. You can have, for example, the Bailey Gifford fund, but there'll be lots of different share classes and ISIN codes attached to that one fund. Some of them, the ongoing management charge might be 10 basis points, 0.10% per annum. Other ones might be 0.5% per annum, with 20% going to with the third party and 20% going to your financial advisor. So again, always make sure your advisor is only working with clean share classes. You should be able to see this in your report that your financial advisor sends to you. It should state the ongoing annual management charge of each of your underlying funds. You could then cross-reference that online with an independent party such as TrustNet, FCA Analytics, just to check that you are paying the lowest possible cost and your financial advisor isn't marking you up into more expensive or loaded funds, as we call them in the industry. On to my fifth point. Again, we're focusing on cost here. TER, or total expense ratio. You need to ask your financial advisor clearly, in writing and in person if you meet with them, what is my total expense ratio? They should give you 1, a percentage, and 2, a monetary amount. So, for example, if a portfolio is £1 million and your financial advisor is charging you 1% per year, that's a very easy equation. £10,000 in terms of ongoing advice fees, but what about all of the other costs? The SIP cost or the QROPS cost, the underlying platform, the underlying funds. You should have all of them itemized in your report so you know how much per pound and obviously the percentage amount and exact pound amount you're spending per annum. High cost doesn't always necessarily mean a bad thing. The idea is to keep costs as low as possible, but what you should be focused on is comparing these costs against the performance of the portfolio that they're recommending. My sixth point to discuss in terms of when working with an advisor is to always ask about exit penalties. Are there any exit penalties or lock-in periods attached to the products that you're using? Even in the United Kingdom, some of the biggest financial advisory firms in the UK, for example, or commonly known as, they have a 5 or a 6 year exit penalty when you invest your money with them. In my opinion, this is not good. If the performance is bad, if you don't like the advisor, if the service is bad, what do? You're stuck. You can't leave, you can't go and choose someone else, or you can, but you'll pay a very high exit penalty to leave that firm, which again will provide bad portfolio results for you because obviously you're losing money. At Cameron James, we never have any exit penalties here. If you want to leave us and go work with someone else, the choice is yours. We think this is the best way to work with clients and build the strongest relationships that you can. Guys, I'm halfway through now. If you want to book in and have a consultation, free consultation with myself or one of our senior financial advisors, you can use the comments section below. You click the calendar link to go through the diary invitation and find a day and time that suits you best in your time zone. Or you can also use the WhatsApp button in the description to have a more informal conversation before we move on to having a meeting with you. So on to my next point. I would always say that you need to check the reputation of your financial advisor in the industry. Have they been featured in people such as the Financial Times? Do they work with big organizations? Are they credible? Research them, Google them. What comes up about your IFA? What comes up about the IFA firm when you talk about them? What is their standing in the industry? Have they only been around for 6 months and they're new on the FCA register? What else can you find out about them? Always do your homework. Next point is regarding service. Now, it's very difficult to know in advance whether you're going to get good quality service from someone, but what you can do is, in the initial stages with your financial advisor, keep a very close-knit eye on the service levels. Do they get back to you on time? How quickly do they respond? If they say they're going to send a report to you, do they send it through? How long did it take them to do the report? What was the quality of the report? If a financial advisory firm can show you a very high level of service at the beginning, doesn't always guarantee that the service isn't going to tailor off, but it's a very good start. If someone starts off a bit wishy-washy, cancels a few appointments with you, things are slow, there's errors on the paperwork, you can basically expect that to only get worse over the course of time. So you really want to start with a firm that delivers a very high level of service from day one. The next point on my list is staff. Always ask your financial advisor, what is your setup? How many staff do you have? Do you have staff in different jurisdictions? Do you have a round-the-world clock advice and support team? Here at Cameron James, we effectively have round-the-world support now. So whatever time a client gets in touch, someone in the support team is available somewhere in the world to start working on that request, preparing it for the financial advisor or whatever they need. So always ask your financial advisor, what's the setup? How many admins do you have? How many advisors do you have? What's the process? What's your turnaround time? How quickly can I expect an email response from you? Personally, I think in a professional environment, anything more than 24 to 48 hours is too long for a response when it's your money. You want someone who can get back in touch with you very quickly. My next point to move on to is moving provider. You should always ask your financial advisor, are you tied or locked into working with this specific person, or can we move about over the course of time? You should hopefully be getting an answer from your financial advisor where they say, we are not locked or tied into working with anyone. We can move products if another cheaper one becomes available and it doesn't affect our relationship with you. Our 1% will remain the same. There's no exit penalty to leave as provider. So over the course of time, we could move SIP or we could move platform, we could move underlying funds if we believe there's a better option out there. On to 11th point on my list, we're getting there now. Always ask for client references. Say to your financial advisor, this is a really big decision for me. I want to trust you. Is it okay if I speak to some of your existing clients for a reference? Any financial advisor who any financial advisor who isn't able to provide references for you should not really be trusted. When a client asks me, I generally try to speak to 2, 3, 4 other clients I know, either of a similar age, in a similar country, or a similar portfolio size, to give that client the reassurance. Sometimes they just reach out to them by email. Hi John, Dominic said he worked with you. Could you let me know what working with him was like? Most of my clients would email back very fast saying, Dominic and team are brilliant, this and this, etc, etc, etc. Or you can reach out to talk to them, or you can even meet up with them if you're in the same city if they really wanted to. But your financial advisor should always be very forthcoming in testimonials or references from people they've already worked with. And the 12th and final point on my list is your gut instinct. You have to trust someone. And this is the most important part of financial advice. If you trust someone from the beginning, you don't have to try and double check every single thing they're doing. If you genuinely think your financial advisor wants to give you good advice and in exchange for that get a fair fee, there's no hidden commissions, there's no lock-ins, there's no exit penalties, you can relax. You can let the financial advisor get on with their job, be highly efficient, make the portfolio changes that they need to. And in my opinion, this is the best way to protect yourself, is trusting someone. So go with your gut instinct. If you see red flags from someone, you don't like the way they work, you read a bad review online, there's something they didn't answer to you transparently, always trust your gut and say, I'm not sure about working with this person. Guys, as always, please hit the big red subscribe button below to learn more about weekly videos on pension transfers. I hope you find these 12 points valuable. Please do comment below if you think there's any additional points that I could do another video on, or any points that you think I've overstated or anything you think I've missed. Do let me know in the comment section below and I will respond to you personally. Guys, as always, take care of your UK pensions and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.